Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Evan, coach of the Cruz Sandshrewz, and this is my draft analysis of my team for the LRLessons Draft League Season 3. LRLessons is our awesome Discord community, and our hosts Carter and Carl organize a lot of events for us there, like Draft League and all things VGC related. So do give us a follow, LRLessons on YouTube, LRLessons on Twitter, and I'll post the link to our Discord server in the description down below. I'm one of your mods there, and I'm from Singapore. I'm not from Santa Cruz. I chose the team name Santa Cruz Sandshrewz because it is a nice alliteration and it rhymes, and Sandshrewz is my all-time favorite Pokemon. So to introduce the Draft League format for those of you who don't know, in a Draft League, a group of people come together and draft Pokemon. In this case, we are to draft 10 Pokemon, as you can see from the 10 slots over there. And we are to bring these Pokemon, battle each other, and see who comes out on top. We are doing this Draft League in a VGC format. And we are doing Swiss rounds and a single elimination top cut. And also, we might be the first group to ever organize a draft league with restricted Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So this is something that is very exciting because nobody has played this format before. More on our draft league. Together with the mods and hosts, we came up with the tiers. As you can see, each person is to draft only one restricted Pokemon, one G-Max, one S tier, 2 A tiers, 3 B tiers, and 2 C tiers. And interestingly, we are also not doing a snake draft. What I mean to say is, the first player will get to pick their mon, then second player down to the last player, and then back to the first player. This was Carl's idea, and we are hoping that it balances the game well so that the people at the ends don't pick very overpowering strategies. So before I begin to introduce my team, I have a comment question. What is the favorite Pokemon, favorite member of my team? What is your favorite member of my team? So do let me know. So I went into this draft league I went into my draft as the 8th pick. So essentially, I don't think I would be able to get like my restricted Pokemon, the good restricted Pokemon. They might go very fast. Same goes for the G-Max and the S tier. So I went into my draft with a weird strategy. I wanted to go with Weezing and Regigigas. So I was thinking everybody is going to draft combinations, right? Like Dragapult, Colossal, beat up strategies, weather, terrain, and there'll be like a couple of weird texts here and there. So once I draft Weezing, I should be able to shut down everybody's abilities, and hopefully that will do well for me. So I didn't want to draft Regigigas so early because Regigigas is in the S tier, and you only get one S tier pick. So going into the draft, I decided to pick my S tier last. If someone picks Regigigas and sort of snipes it from me, then I'm okay with it because there are still other S tier mons to pick. But at the same time, I tried to also pick other mons that can complement Regigigas, like mons with Worry Seed or Simple Beam, as you can see later in the sequence of my draft. So let's begin. I was hoping and praying that I'll get Cinderace as my G-Max mon because there are very few extremely viable G-Max mons, and since as the 8th pick, I don't think I'll be able to get a good restricted mon, so I went straight for the G-Max first, and I was very happy that I was able to snag Cinderace before anybody else, and at the 8th pick, so I think that was very lucky. So Cinderace, with its Libero ability, is able to turn into any type. most types I mean, and I think this gives a lot of flexibility to my team, and Cinderace is such an offensive powerhouse. So next up we have Latios. So this is kind of strange, right? Why would someone just go for Latios as the second pick and then skip the S and the restricted pick, right? So the main reason I chose Latios is because of simple beam, but at the same time Latios has a wide move pool and good support options for any team. So with its versatility and good speed tier and good offenses, I think it's a good pick for my second pick. Then you also get access to Tailwind and Helping Hand and even Bulldoze, and that's very interesting. Then next up, for my third pick, I got sniped. So I really wanted to go with Togetic, which is also in the B tier. Because Togetic has the 4 times resistance to fighting, right? Then Regigigas' only weakness is fighting. Then with very reliable redirection and with the Eviolite to make Togetic bulky, like it will do very well for any team. Then Togetic got sniped by Saber, who won our last draft league, our last season, which is the monotype draft league. So I have some beef to deal with Saber here. So he took Togetic as early as pick number 2. So for my third pick, I also wanted a redirection mon, so I went with Butterfree. Then on hindsight, it might be a good thing because Butterfree also gives me another option for Tailwind. Then it also has the threat of Sleep Powder, which is actually very big in our current format with Dynamax. So hopefully with this Butterfree I might be able to do some stuff and sleep some stuff. So next up we have Luxray from the B tier as well. I chose Luxray mainly because of Intimidate and Snarl. The other mon in the B tier that can do this is Crocodile, and I felt that Crocodile has like too many weaknesses as compared to Luxray, and Luxray has like access to Vote Switch and is able to help to position my team better. So that's the reason why I chose Luxray. This is going to be my first time using Luxray, so I'll see how it goes. I have no experience using this mon, and I think it might be able to help me catch people off guard, especially with its other ability, which is Guts. Yep. So next up we have Umbreon. I think in Draft League or maybe in VGC 2020 in general, in Sword and Shield, every team must have a Dark type mon. This makes sure that you have at least one mon that is immune to prankster moves, and Dark type is generally a very good typing in this format. Then I chose Umbreon also because like it has a wide move pool that can help support my team, support my offensive hitters like Cinderace and potentially Regigigas, and not forgetting the restricted mon that I have not drafted yet. And yeah, and on top of that, it has like Helping Hand, Yawn, good recovery, and it's very very bulky. So hopefully I might be able to do some stuff with Umbreon. And next up, we have Gorgeist. Small. We put Gorgeist extra large in the B tier because it's bulky and it's more offensive and it can set Trick Room. And then we put Gorgeist Gorgeist small in the S tier. This is the one with the 99 base speed stat, and I think I got lucky that we actually put Gorgeist in the S tier. The reason why I chose this mon is mainly because of Worry Seed, because Worry Seed can shut off Regigigas' ability even when it's Dynamaxed. Then the other Worry Seed mons would be Comfy, which is in A tier, and Whimsicott S tier, or Cottony C tier. And I felt that Cottony is a bit too frail and actually a bit too slow. Although it has Prankster Worry Seed, But then Gorgeist, with Worry Seed, it won't get faked out, and it's also immune to Rage Powder. So hopefully I might be able to pull off this strategy. Yeah, and spoiler alert, I got Regigigas, right? So hopefully I will be able to use Gorgeist to good effect. Gorgeist also has a good move pool, with it being Ghost type, and you know, Ghost type mons have very unique moves. And it also has access to Shadow Sneak, which can pair well with another of my team members, which you will see very soon over here. This was Solgaleo on pick number 7. Why I chose this on pick number 7 is because I was getting worried. Our team, our group, the Crown group, drafted a lot of good restricted mons very early. I wanted a Steel type restricted mon, so there's Zacian, naturally it would go very fast, Necrozma Duskmane, and Dialga, and then all 3 of these were taken. So I was getting a bit worried because there were still a few people who have not drafted their restricted mons yet. So I quickly snagged Solgaleo, because I don't think I would want any other mon, like maybe Zamazenta, yeah, or the others. So Solgaleo is good because of its ability, and it's naturally very bulky, and it gives me a good Trick Room option, or also a way to stop Trick Room. Then this typing, so it's like Metagross, right? So its typing is very good in this format, and it is also very offensive, and you can't lower its attack. Yeah, so I like Solgaleo actually. It's a lion. Next up, oh yeah, and at this point you can see that like I have my S tier and A tier left, right? And this is reserved for Weezing and Regigigas. And by now most of our players have already drafted their S tier mons and quite a lot of their A tier mons. So I was feeling okay that I might be able to get Regigigas according to plan after all. So that was it was still quite it was still quite nerve-wracking at this juncture, and I was really glad I was able to get Solgaleo. So next up, my last C tier mon, which is Hitmonlee. I think I needed a fake out mon and a mon with like generally good support. So I couldn't pick Hitmontop because it was in one of the higher tiers. So I picked Hitmonlee because of the fake out and white guard, which might be useful in this restricted format, with a lot of restricted mons getting very good spread moves. Then it also gets Helping Hand, a number of priority moves, and Hitmonlee is the more offensive of the two as compared to Hitmonchan, who is a bit more defensive. So hopefully with Hitmonlee I will be able to do good damage, like good fighting type damage. Then Hitmonlee is interesting because its other ability is Unburden, and that will pair well with the mon that I'm going to pick next, which is Weezing Galar. There were 2 Weezings, right? And they are both in A tier, and I chose the Fairy type Weezing for Fairy type coverage and for the ability Misty Search, because in our group a lot of people would have drafted Rillaboom for Grassy Search and Psychic Search. There are 3 mons that can actually make the psychic terrain, right? Like Indeedee male, female, and Tapu Lele, and all these 3 were drafted. So being able to gain terrain control, I think, will be able to help my team more. So Galar Weezing is the mon that I chose over regular Weezing. Then having good fairy type coverage will be useful as well. Yeah, because there are very few mons with there are very few offensive fairy mons in this format. I mean, Weezing is not the most offensive fairy mon, but in a draft league format, I think I might be able to do something and catch my opponents off guard. Then last but not least, we have Regigigas. Funny story, when Crown Tundra first came out, someone gave me a shiny Regigigas. So I was the first few people on Twitter to post an image of shiny Galar Slowking, right? The one that slowpokes Slowpoke evolves to is like a new evolution. And this random guy on Twitter DM'd me and asked, can I get the item that evolves Slowpoke into Slowking, because he thought it was very hard to obtain. So I decided to trade him the item. Then he traded me Regigigas, a shiny Regigigas as thanks. So we take those, and hopefully I will be able to use this Regigigas well. Regigigas is so interesting. It has a lot of base stats. The only thing that hinders it is its ability, and I'll have to play around that. It has the same amount of base stats as Kyogre and Groudon. So essentially I'm like drafting 2 restricted mons, and hopefully this turns out well. Then and I've also described how like the various Pokemon in my team are able to help support Regigigas. So in summary, so these are my mons. If you can look at the team in general, like not a lot of them do a lot, like not all of them do damage. So seems like a bunch of misfits. Like the strong hitters are the ones that are definitely going to Dynamax, like Solgaleo, Cinderace, Regigigas, maybe Latios sometimes, and the rest are all there just like supporting cast to try and support the hard hitters. And I feel that my team, if like Weezing goes down, then it might be quite weak to Intimidate. So like Cinderace and Regigigas are known to be strong physical attackers, so I might have to be careful of Intimidate spam. Then and in terms of speed, I think my team is more on the mid speed tier to the higher speed tier, so I might have to be careful of my opponents that might go hard Trick Room or have something like a late game Trick Room strategy. So I really have to be careful of that and find ways to stop Trick Room at the beginning of the game or even in the mid game. So yeah, that's about it. Do let me know who is your favorite member of my team, and I'll also and do stay tuned to my channel. I'm not gonna plug like subscribing or anything, because I'm not really into YouTube, but I really want to document my journey and use this channel as a diary for my Draft League battles. I'm a big fan of Draft League because of the team building aspect and the preparation work that you have to put into it. Like for me, if I were to play Draft League or standard VGC, I will play Draft League because I like having information, and in standard VGC you have to use your team to beat all sorts of teams, and you can't change their sets. So hopefully I'll be able to put on a good show for you guys. So do stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Bye.